Today I'm making Crock-Pot Italian mozzarella chicken. So this recipe called for 6 chicken breasts, and then all the ingredients were proportionate to that, but I didn't want to do 6, so I only did 4. That's about what we need for our family and have a little bit left over. So I changed the ingredients a little bit, but I will put the original recipe in the description box so you can kind of see how many chicken breasts you want and kind of decide then how much of each spice and ingredient that you want to put. So this is 4 chicken breasts, and you're going to mix them. In my case, I mix them in half a teaspoon of basil and half a teaspoon of oregano, and this is just the ones from Whole Foods. So I have that, and you're just going to take the chicken and lightly just kind of coat it on both sides. I have really found out a couple times I've made this, it doesn't seem to make a whole lot of difference if one piece has a lot more than another. I try to make it as even as I can, but it tends to all kind of cook in together anyway. So the recipe calls for 3 cloves of garlic, but since I'm not using the full 6 chicken breasts, I only do about 1.5 teaspoons, which equals a little more than 1 clove. And then you're just going to cover it with whatever marinara sauce that you choose. The original recipe calls for 1.5 cups. I'm using about 1.25 cups. This is just the Costco organic marinara sauce. It won't take the whole can. I really honestly kind of eyeball this. Just kind of cover the chicken. I'm not worried about filling up the whole pot or anything. I don't typically eyeball recipes and just kind of guess, but it seems to work out pretty good with this. The couple times I've made it, each time has been a little bit different, and it seems to have worked out well any time that I've done it. So that's all you do in the beginning, is just you cover your crock pot and you cook it on low for about 6 hours, and then the next steps are your pasta and adding your cheese to your chicken, and I'll show you that in a minute. It's been 6 hours, the chicken's all done, and all I'm gonna do is take it out and put it in a pan. You're gonna put it in your oven with some mozzarella cheese on top. I usually just use the broiler, just enough to melt the cheese, because you really don't need to cook the chicken anymore. The recipe says 1.5 cups of mozzarella cheese. Again, I just kind of eyeball this based on how many chicken breasts we have, how many pieces we're going to have, but just enough where each piece has a little bit of cheese on top. And you're going to put that in the oven just long enough to warm up the cheese and melt it nicely. I'm just making some pasta. You can use spaghetti noodles, you can use penne, whatever type of noodle that you like. I'm going to use penne, and I'll show you what it looks like again in just a minute. So when the chicken's all done and the cheese is melted on top like it is over here, all you're going to do is make your pasta and use a little bit more of the marinara sauce just to put on the noodles. Put the chicken on top, and you can use more of the mozzarella just sprinkled on top, or some Parmesan. Either way, it's really good, and it's also pretty good left over. I usually just make new noodles and we reheat the chicken, and so it works out good for 2 different nights for supper. So I hope you guys like this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. Don't forget to subscribe, and let me know if you tried this recipe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.